Eminent guest speaker. On behalf of our Managing Director, Shri Mayank Agrawal ji, I welcome sir, welcome Dutta sir. I welcome Dean, Professor Amit, Dr. Parshottam, Dr. Sham, Sachin sir, faculty members, and my dear students. This event and this session is going to be a very learning, because it's fortunate for us. It's really our luck that today we have such a learned person who is associated with the governments for number of portfolios, economics, foreign policies, day-to-day education policies, and all, media. So, not taking much of the time, once again I welcome our guest. Thank you very much.
Esteemed university and an institution, it is a pleasure being here with all of you. And I think I am seeing the future brand ambassadors of our country. You all young talents, you all are the future of tomorrow. You all are the future of this great country and this great civilization called India or Bharat. Well, just to give a brief about myself, I was also a student like you all once upon a time. With my academics being from JNU, from Delhi University and from other institutions. Graduate in economics honors, together with research in diplomatic history of India and research in business, modern business economic history of India with the Asia Pacific region. When I was pursuing my degree in JNU, I'm talking about the decade of mid-90s. That's the time I had floated certain concepts in relation to India's economic relationship with the Asia Pacific division. I was the first one, IPSA, India, South Africa, Brazil, this collaboration, and also I've spoken about the Troika between Russia, India and China, which is yet to be officially formulated because of certain border issues which we have with China. I was duly acknowledged by the embassies of all these countries once these concepts were floated. India, or for that matter, the Honorable President of United States of America, the Honorable Prime Minister of Japan, or for that matter, Southeast Asia, when they talk about India and Indo-Pacific. I was the first one to speak about this whole relationship way back in 1990s. That time when I used to talk about India and Indo-Pacific, people used to laugh at me and people used to say, what is this nonsense about India and Indo-Pacific? How can India be correlated to Indo-Pacific as such, or to the Pacific division? And when I look back today and when I see that yes, all the leading luminaries across the globe, whether it's in India or for that matter in United States of America or in other Southeast Asian, East Asian countries, when they talk about Indo-Pacific and when they talk about look east and act is such, it gives me a sense of pride. I still remember when the former Prime Minister of India, the late Prime Minister of India, Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee, when he was the Prime Minister of our country, he had started a rally from New Delhi right up to Manila. And that is where this whole notion started. Why I'm focusing on this is because as a researcher, when I was pursuing my research, that time I had spoken about Indo-Pacific, about India, as a kind of a innovation, as a kind of a developmental concept for entrepreneurship, as well as for innovation of young researchers of young students from India with other countries of the Asia Pacific division. So that innovative idea of the decade of 1990s, of mid-1990s, today it has become a flourishing concept across the globe. So, ideas are always brilliant, my dear friends. It is all what needs to be pursued with these ideas is the dedication, the determination, and the conviction to follow those ideas and to follow those ideas and to legitimize those ideas right up to the conclusion, so that your idea, your theoretical idea, becomes a practical innovation in the long run. And it becomes a practical innovation with the pursuance, with the dedication of your idea, with a continuous hard work. So I'm sure all of you are here students, budding students of the business studies, if I'm not mistaken. So I think the School of Business, for that matter, or for that matter even social sciences, mass communication, these are basically incubative centers or budding centers for innovation, for research, as well as for R&D development, research and development as such. It is in these centers of innovation that ideas get generated and ideas get implemented. And that's the reason I used the word right in my initial comments that you all are the brand ambassador of tomorrow. There was a correlation to why I used this word. We are fortunate enough that today we have a very, very dedicated government. A government which is very dedicated in relation to the innovation of our country for tomorrow. This government, led by a dynamic leadership of the Honorable Prime Minister, is absolutely focused. It is absolutely focused. It's very clear-cut in its pursuance of its governance as well as in pursuance of its innovative ideas. The Honorable Prime Minister of our country always says that please do not be a job seeker, be a job giver. There is a reason behind this. I all understand, and I understand that all of us, we need a job after we complete our degree for our bread and butter. That is very important as such. But can't we not think out of the box? Can't we not think out of the box for something which is little innovative? Something which is little out of the way kind of a thinking? You know, something which is out of the Pandora box as such. Now, if we think on those lines, you not only make yourself self-sustainable, but at the same time, because of your creativity, because of your out-of-box thinking, because of your innovative skill, because of your dedication towards research and development, you develop something which is not only financially and skill-wise innovative for you, but at the same time, it also pulls in people around you for that innovative idea, and you work as a collective team for doing something much brilliant ahead. Now, when you think on those innovative lines, then you actually become a job giver, because you are not only creating an innovation for yourself, but you are also assimilating, accommodating, and connecting people who are around you, who are in need of your guidance, who are in need of your innovation. And therefore, you not only give innovation to the nation, but you also generate employment for dependent people around you. And that's the reason why the Honorable Prime Minister says that be a job giver, not a job seeker. This is what he means. behind that. I can cite you number of examples and very closely connected with the IIMs as well as with IIT and especially with Delhi IIT as such. The other day when I was talking to the chemical engineering department of IIT Delhi, and we are planning to organize a very big program by the end of this year or the beginning of next year. I shall invite all of you to be a part of that program in IIT Delhi. This is in relation to innovation, Unnat Bharat, Atmanirbhar Bharat. When I was talking to the director as well as to the dean of IIT, he just mentioned me about two alumni from the chemical engineering department of the IIT who were pursuing their chemical engineering somewhere around early 2000 as such from IIT Delhi. After completing their chemical engineering, they did not go for any MNC as such. During the time of their training program, during the pursuance of their course in IIT, they came up with a very innovative idea of making an innovative incubation kind of a research-oriented kind of a center in relation to the food and beverage industry. They initially started with a small mohalla dhaba kind of a outlet in the early 2000s in Delhi, somewhere in South Delhi, close to the premises. Started from the kitchen, and today it's a global brand. Global brand across the globe. Perhaps one of the most successful, studies of innovation and entrepreneurship in relation to the food and beverage industry again. If you look into the several innovative skills of NCUI, IFCO, today they have become a brand not only at India level but also at the global level in relation to the MSME industry, in relation to the small scale cottage and medium sector industry of our country. MSME in Southeast Asia, in Latin America and in Africa. I remember about the government of Nigeria, about the government of Botswana, South Africa, the Brazilian government, Peru, Argentina, Indonesia, Malaysia, Egypt, Nicaragua, plethora of countries, South Africa, Mali, Malawi, Zimbabwe, Zambia, talk any one of them, Thailand, Laos, Vietnam, they have all requested NCUI and IFCO way back in 1960s and 70s to open up innovative centers in their respective country. So the main focus out here is like there is no dearth of skill in our country. There is no dearth of quality work. There is no dearth of hard work in our country. What is needed is a pre-decided goal post and a proper focus in relation to these skills, the innovation and the talent which is there in our country. India is fortunate enough to have the youngest population across the world. 70% of our country is between the age group of 16 to 45, 50 years of age. So ours is the fastest youth nation of the world. We are not an aging nation. And this dividend of this youthfulness will be there with us for at least another 50 to 100 years as such, So this youthfulness we need to capture. This youthfulness we need to give a direction. This youthfulness we need to give a focus. And that is where entrepreneurship, that is where innovation comes into play. I'm sure your esteemed faculty members must be guiding you, holding your little finger in relation to entrepreneurship, in relation to innovation as a career opportunity. Now, if I have to define entrepreneurship and if I have to define innovation, it's very, very huge area, entrepreneurship and innovation. Perhaps there is no proper definition for this in relation to entrepreneurship and innovation because it's so huge. The fact that this fan is working, there has been some innovation behind that, some entrepreneur skill behind that. That's the reason it is working. The fact that you use your mobile for sending SMSs to your Valentine, as well as to your parents and your friends, and the fact that you use Facebook and WhatsApp and Instagram, there is some skill of entrepreneurship, some skill of innovation behind that. The fact that you cook your food at home sometimes when you feel like, or the fact that you prepare your chai or coffee and you try different kind of skill in that. Might be with cream, might be with powder milk, might be with chocolate, and then you give a different, and those books, and you try to, before exam, you are using your WhatsApp or your smartphone, for talking to your friends, and your mom comes inside your study room, and she says, why are you using your phone before exam? And you try to hoodwink your mom so that you are not caught from sending SMS and from sending WhatsApp messages. You are using your brain for that. And you are trying to find out a technique as to how you can chat with your friend also, and at the same time you study also, without getting any kind of blasting from your parents. You are using your mind. You are using your innovative skill. So, innovation and entrepreneurship is a huge, huge domain as such. Name anything under the sun, any division, any department, any branch, this all comes under innovation. This all comes under your entrepreneur skill. I see many of you using in a tie. Might be some of you are using the tie with an American knot or a single knot, and the others are using it with a double knot or a British knot as such, or an Indian knot. You are using your skill in that. You are using your innovation in that for making a proper knotted tie, whether it's in the American style or whether it's in the British style. So in every circumstances, in every scenario, we actually use our innovation. We actually use our entrepreneur skill. He is doing a video recording of my lecture. He's using his innovation in that. He's using his entrepreneur skill in that. Later on, before he uploads the video into any social media or into YouTube, he would do all this cut and paste and find out the best part of the lecture, assimilate those together, and then give the final product to the market. So he has used his intelligence, he has used his innovation, he has used his creativity. So everything is innovative. When I see, every day when I see, my respected ladies before going to the office or to the college or to the institution or to any place, they wear in different dresses every day with a proper cosmetic, like a decoration, might be a different kind of a lipstick, or might be a different kind of a powder or something as such, so that there is a proper matching of the dress as such. Now the honorable lady is using her innovation in that, so that she looks in different, she looks in creative, she looks in appealing as such, So innovation, entrepreneur skill, and your mind, thinking of your mind or the power of your brain is there in each and everything. Now let me come to the rudimentary definition or to the rudimentary day-to-day understanding of innovation and entrepreneur skill. Let's say supposing in your BBA and in your MBA, You know, like in the third semester or in the final semester, you are given a project work. You are given a project to do, which is your practical demonstration of your theoretical skill. Now, in doing that practical project, it could be something in relation to, say, for example, you know, like role of MNCs in HR, okay, or for that matter, you know, like the importance of business law in relation to business management. Now, that project work which you are doing, and for that which you are doing your survey and you are going to different institutions for taking expert guidelines and expert input. Now, that is a typical definition of your demonstrative skill in relation to your entrepreneurship, in relation to your qualitative and quantitative skills as such. You know, so that is another way of looking into it through a different perspective. Then say, for example, I'm sure you all have mass communication also here in this institution. So while I was coming, I had seen in the edit room, in the editorial room, I had seen students working on the breaking news, you know, working on the breaking news, and in a 10 seconds glance, I saw the pictorial thing in the computer. I saw the image of Adityanath ji, I saw the image of Virat Kohli, I saw the image of Shriman Rahul ji, I saw the image of the Honorable Prime Minister, and I saw something in relation to, you know, the President of United States of America, as well as the conflict in Palestine, and also about the great Imran Khan, who only keeps on exporting terrorism across the globe. You know, in 10 seconds I saw that. And in that 10 seconds I could make out that yes, this is the pictorial skill of that boys and girls who were doing the work there in that practical room out there. And together with that I saw breaking news one after another coming up, floating one after another. You had shown me your website also, and in relation to the you know, the channel which you all have, IIMT News, if I'm not mistaken. Now that is what? That is again a small replica of the studio of a news channel, right? I mean, in the news channel, in the studio which we do every day, I saw the chroma behind, I saw the camera in front of me, I saw the side cameras on both the sides, and I saw a series of laptops in front of me. You know, that is a demonstrative skill of that media room in the TV channel, you know, which I keep on encountering every day, because from 5 p.m. in the evening I'm there in different news channels, arguing for the government as well as for the ruling party in relation to various issues as such. Yesterday I had done a debate in relation to the problems which were happening in Maharashtra in relation to, you know, the tussle between the Maharashtra government and the NCB. Today I will be doing a debate on Pakistan in the evening, and probably in relation to the T20 World Cup as such, and might be also in the happenings in relation to Jammu and Kashmir. Prior to that, I did a number of debates on the happenings in Bangladesh just after the Durga Puja celebration and during the time of the Durga Puja celebration. So the visit of mine to all those news channels, a replica of that I saw here today in your campus. Now, innovation today has become much more advanced in relation to media studies, in relation to business studies. Before the COVID, we used to go to Film City every day, Sector 16A. But today, when I do my shows during the prime time, I actually do it through Zoom or through Skype. You know, like through Zoom and through Skype, panel of experts, the Parvakta from the ruling party and the Parvakta from the opposition, we all sit together in that Zoom, you know, in that Zoom connection, and we do analysis of the breaking news as such. So this is an advancement of how to carry on with the work in an absurd situation or in a situation where physical movement was not possible because of COVID. Because of COVID, it doesn't mean that you would just close your industry as such, or you would just close your, your office as such. That is not possible. If that had been so, then all the news channels in Film City would have closed down. But what did the people there in the Film City, what did they do? They used a way out. They used a way out through their innovative research of how to utilize Zoom and how to utilize Skype and how to utilize other social media instruments for pursuing the day-to-day kind of an activities in relation to running the TV channel 24/7. So that was again innovation. That is again entrepreneurship in a very, very creative way. The Honorable Prime Minister, when he became the Prime Minister of our country after decades of misgovernance and policy paralysis, 2014 when he took the oath, after that he said that if we really have to make India a country with an ease of business, India a country with a sense of business, India a country with innovation, India a country with research and development, we have to make the environment eco-friendly. We have to make the environment Delhi, near Hanuman Mandir, in New Delhi area, in CP area, saw the premises out there, and he said, no, this is not the India of today, or this is not the India of tomorrow. If there is so much of filth, if there is so much of dirt around the premises, around the roads of the national capital of the country, then imagine what must be there in the suburbs, what must be there in the far-flung areas and in the remote. He thought of it. It was an out-of-the-box kind of a thinking of a very, very small activity which can be pursued by all of you. You know, if you all don't throw the dirt of your vegetable waste outside your window in your neighborhood, then you are doing a swachhata. You are, you are generating a clean environment around you. You are generating a clean environment around those who are not very attentive can leave the class. I do not want murmuring voices. Either I might be very boring or you are not interested. You are too intelligent. If you are so intelligent, please come here. I shall be there and I shall be listening to you. So what I am saying is like the swachhata of mind, the swachhata of your innovative skill, everyone could have done this, But why is it that the Honorable Prime Minister only thought about it? And who became his brand ambassador after that? The brand ambassadors were the school toddlers, the class 1, class 2, KG, nursery toddlers who got the hold of the finger of the father and the mother and said, Mummy, आपको कूड़ा बाहर नहीं फेंकनी है. पापा, आपको कूड़ा बाहर नहीं फेंकना है, डस्टबिन में रखना है. वो छोटा सा जो बच्चा है, उसने समझ लिया इस इनोवेशन के बारे में, माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के. He completed that mission. He came with a broom, and you all must have seen the footage of the cleaning the areas around Hanuman Mandir in CP with a broom. That was an example to setting an example across the country that I, being the Prime Minister, if I can do this, why not you? I mean, dignity of labor is attached to it. If the highest authority of our country can use a broom for cleaning the environment, then all of us should do it. And there he had given several messages. One was innovation for clean environment. The other one was innovation for the dignity of labor. The third one was the innovation for your duties towards the country, which has been given by the directive principles of the state policy of the Constitution of India. The fourth one was in relation to the collectivity or the joint endeavor of different students of different group of the normal population of the country for creating a mass awareness as well as for creating a mass research-based approach at the nook and corner of the country. And together with that, the most important part of it was to make the toddler of class 1 and class 2 realize that you have a responsibility towards the nation, you have a responsibility towards the society, you have a responsibility towards your neighborhood, you have a responsibility towards the environment. So by inculcating that innovative skill under the, within the gene of that class 1, class 2 toddler, the Prime Minister of our country has created a brand ambassador, a plethora of brand ambassadors of tomorrow who would be responsible towards the society, who would be responsible towards the country. So a kid at 4 years and 5 years of age, if he or she realizes his or her responsibility, tomorrow he would be a law-abiding citizen of the country. Tomorrow he would be a brand ambassador of the country. This is something which is called out of the box thinking. This is something which is called out of the Pandora box thinking. This is something which is called a leadership which is 100 years ahead of the present generation. And this is what the Honorable Prime Minister of our country is all about. This is what is called the sense of innovation. This is what is called the sense of entrepreneurship. He did not stop there. After that, he started Fit India campaign, Hello India movement. If you are fit by physics, then you'll be fit by mind. If you are fit by mind, you will be creative enough. If you are fit by your mind, you will be innovative enough. If you are fit physically, you will be entrepreneurial enough to utilize your skill. If you have a weight of 120 kgs, it will take you at least 1 hour to do a small work. It will take you at least 2 hours to reach a destination of 15 minutes. Why? Because your physical health doesn't allow you to do brisk walking or to walk fast as such. So therefore the Honorable Prime Minister said that if we have to make India sustainable, if we have to make India global, if we have to make India entrepreneurial, if we have to make India innovative, if we have to attract FDI and FIRs from abroad, and if we have to make India the ideal destination for entrepreneurship, for innovation, for R&D as well as for investment, then we have to be fit and fine. We have to be fit and fine physically, we have to be creative, and we have to be fit and fine mind-wise. So the second campaigning in relation to entrepreneurship, in relation to innovation started with the Hello India and Fit India movement. He did not stop there. From there, when the pandemic came, you just look back into early 2020 and the end of 2019, from February onwards, the pandemic started affecting our country, When the pandemic came, we all were not even aware as to what is this virus all about. We were not equipped well enough to handle the onslaught of this virus. Our medical fraternity was not innovative enough to understand the DNA chain of this virus as such, It took almost around 8 months to 9 months for us. I had worked deeply with the health ministry that time. Almost around 8 to 9 months, it took almost around that time for us to understand the chain of the DNA and as to how this virus is multiplying and how it is incubating into a new form, So we were absolutely at the loss of mind as to what to do about this virus, because this is a man-made virus which has been exported from the biological lab of Wuhan from China for across the globe, so that China by default and by de jure would become the global superpower of the world. And the primary threat of the Chinese establishment were all the democratic countries, including India, because by that time we had slapped China on the Doklam issue. So China understood that yes, we cannot take India head on physically or militarily. Therefore, we have to use our innovative skill for doing something hazardous, for doing something which is demonic. So let us just throw open the biological labs of Wuhan and let us export this biological fatal weapon across the globe, including India. And China succeeded to a great extent in doing that, because the first of 2020, the beginning of 2020 till the beginning of 2021, we were absolutely at a kind of a dilemma as to how to control this virus as such. The second wave came in our country. By the time the second wave came, we realized that yes, for an out-of-box kind of enemy, for an enemy which is not visible, an enemy which is demonic in a form in the atmosphere, we have to develop a lethal weapon in relation to the health industry of our country. And we started with this mask which all of us we wear today. When India was devastated by the pandemic, we did not have even 1,000 kg of mask in our country. That was the capacity as such. We were buying masks from abroad, and China used a lot of its preparedness in relation to the mask by sending in rotten masks across the globe, including its slave Pakistan, and gave in rotten masks to all the countries across the globe that you want to protect yourself, buy the mask from us, but give me money. So the resources, the economic resources of our country got drained out. The Honorable Prime Minister then said that no, I will not back down. I will not come down and I will not bow down to the Chinese dictatorship. He gave a clarion call to the small scale and medium and cottage enterprise of our country, including the woman in the village and the farmer in the village and the artisan in the village, that when you can create such a beautiful Modi jacket, can't you create a mask? You can create a mask in the pastime, in your leisure time, for protecting our civilization, for protecting our population. So every woman in the remote villages of our country, every man and every farmer in the remote village of our country started using the bunker wheel, the charkha, and generated mask. And then there was a flooding of masks across the country, so much so that the Honorable Prime Minister said that we are Atmanirbhar also, but Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam is also our philosophy. So I shall help all the countries across the globe who are suffering from this pandemic as such, and I will give the mask to all of you free of cost. And we exported masks across the length and breadth of the whole world. And that is where the Nirbharta or the connectivity of democratic countries started. And the Prime Minister said that yes, since we are a nation of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, we are a nation of Yadevi Sarvabhuteshu, Vidya Rupe Namastita, Namastashvai, 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 Namo Namaha. Therefore we will give this knowledge, we will give this Vidya across the globe as such. And we will make you all also survive this pandemic. China got devastated after that. China said that, oh, this game of ours did not materialize. This Prime Minister of this third world country has the audacity of challenging the President of the Chinese Republic. Now let us start some other game. Came up with the game of Galwan Valley. After that, back to the same nonsense. Got a proper beating there. Then again, meekly withdrew, saying that, oh no, हम लोग गलती से आ गए थे 20 मीटर अंदर 50 मीटर अंदर माफ कर दो वापस जा रहे हैं पर आप भी अपना सेना को वापस ले लीजिए. So what I'm saying is like, if the leadership is strong, if the leadership is innovative, if the leadership is vibrant, no matter how powerful the nation of a globe would be, would come to you and would shake hands with you. United States of America and the Europe till the other day used to say, oh, India is a nation of of Nag and Nagin, of the snake charmers, What we will do, what kind of a relationship will we have with a country like India, where, barbarians roam around and where the snake charmers roam around? This is a nation of witchcraft, this is a nation of black magic.